All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to Apostle and Elders in New York, GMS, and salutations to your occupied around the world that's teaching the truth. My name is Maya Ka'al Nagab with Chicago branch of Great Millstone. And like a disclaimer that we are not black. Hebrew Israelite, black is a color, not a nationality. All right. We Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are brown-skinned people, man. All right. We're not black like this background right here, man. All right. We're not denying our dark skin. We're just saying we're not going by the social construct that Esau, the so-called white man, have gave us. And he's not white. He's red, man. See, this background is white. His skin is translucent and it's showing red. Okay. All right. And we are not fitted with any black identity and strange groups. All right. Our warfare is spiritual, not carnal. Our war is spiritual, not carnal. You know, it's a lot. All right, so you know, this I'll just put this up because a lot of people they think the Bible is a book by the so-called white man. They think the white man gave us a book. King James was a so-called white, which he wasn't. He was a Scot. He was a so-called black man of Israelite descent whose bloodline went back to the house of David. Okay, King David. All right. I mean, you don't know, a lot of you so-called Negroes over here, your ancestors came from Europe. A lot of you descendants from King James, man. You know, but thing is, Jay think that the Bible is so-called white man's book. But it's not. The Bible condemns Esau, the so-called white man, predict his enslavement, and it predicts the upliftment. It prophesies the upliftment of the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American by the Israelites, man, and the confusion of faces. You know, so the Bible is our welfare, man. All right, the gospel is called what? Good news. The good news is what us, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, is slowly every day coming out their low state. And Esau, the so-called white man, the rest of the heathens, the so-called Arabs, Ishmaels, so-called Africans, Hamites. All right, so-called East Indians, Elam, you know, so-called Chinese, Moab, so-called Japanese, Amun, all them going to slavery on the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American by the Israelites, man. All right, I just want to give this right here. This right here. Come on. All right, it says what? Hosea chapter 4 verse 6. It says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, because thou rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, saying thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children. Right now, people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, man. All right, that's why they say foolish things, that the Bible is a so-called white man's book, but it's not true, man. All right, so get this book right here. It's a damn good book. It's called Servants of Allah, African Muslim Slave in Americas. All right, so we're not Africans, we're Israelites. That's Sylvian A. Dioff. All right, and a lot of people, man, turn Muslim, you know, but this was predicted by Moses, man. The most I get is prophet to Moses that we would go after other gods. All right, so we're here at Deuteronomy 31. I'm gonna start right here. Deuteronomy 31:15. It says, when Yahweh appeared in the tabernacle in a pillar of a cloud, the pillar of a cloud stood over the door of the tabernacle. And Yahweh said unto Moses, behold, thou shalt sleep with thy fathers. This people will rise up and go a whoring after other gods of the strangers of the land, whether they go to be among them, and we will forsake me and break my covenant which I have made with them. It said, then my anger should be kindled against them. In that day I'll forsake them, and I will hide my face from them. Hey, this is Hosea 1:9, man. Hide my face from them, they shall be devoured, and many evils and troubles shall befall them, so that they will say in that day, are not the evil components because our God is not among us. All right, yeah, you know, as well. Jake say today, God ain't us with us, man. God ain't with us. He ain't with us, man. And I will surely have my face in that day for all evils which they shall have wrought. In that they are turned unto other gods. All right, so that was gonna happen, man. All right, let's say Deuteronomy 20:64, man. It says we should be basically scattered all the earth, and we should worship wood and stone, man. Wood is the wood, Christianity. The stone is Islam. All right. So we're gonna go after other gods, man. That's why a lot of people convert to Islam. The Israelites in Africa, West Africa, and it started beginning like the 11th century, man. All right, because in the old Ghana, man, you had a lot of the kings. They was Muslim. We have some converted for financial reasons. Some converted to keep Ishmael off our ancestors. Some just converted. Just want to get into it. But some were forced to convert. Some was conquered by the Muslims, man. All right. Now that's the thing. When I said the Fulani won't spread to Islam out there, man. But I had to look at that further, man. But hey, you never know, man. But basically, Islam was forced on our people, man. All right. In some instance it was, in some instance it was. But just to show you our people, we already knew. I'm bringing this up because this book's gonna show you that our people already had knowledge of the of the Bible, man. All right. Let me see. Right here it says. Matter of fact, let me read her credentials, man. Sylvia Anna Diop. That's what I meant to get. Sylvia Anna Diop, historian of African diaspora. Alright, it says Sylvia A. Diop is award-winning historian of African diaspora. Alright, not African Israelite. She is visiting professor at Brown University Center for the Study for Slavery and Justice and a member of the Scientific Committee of International Coalition Sites of the Conscious Mason Deer Excellent Project on Guri Island, Senegal. Alright, it says a social historian, Dr. Diop, focused on covering essential story topics that were overlooked, negated, but which offer new insights on the African diaspora. She has special interest in experience the African deported, though international slave trade to Atlantic and the ocean worlds, including the particular experience of African Muslims. Alright, the Israelites, that's Muslims, man. Alright, there's something interesting. So here it says, look, the daughter of a Senegalese father and a French mother, Diop was born and grew up in France. She was asked in New York. Alright, man. So it was like she a Jake, man. Alright, yeah, she is a Jake. She won't be going out of her way writing on people's history. You got a lot of Israelites in Senegal, man, like Benjamites, man. In Senegal, you got a couple Danites to you, Tribe of Dan. You guys like to worry about Tribe of Dan. You go visit them, right in Senegal. I don't know why you be crying over Dan all the time. I don't know why you get off your ass and don't go see him. But anyway, back to this. All right, so we got her credentials. All right, so we'll go right here, page 111. I'm gonna find it for you. All right. This right here. I hope y'all can see this clear as I can. Hold on, let me get this focus. All right, page 1. It said, must further the upscale the Muslims who had succeeded in gaining the symbol of whites could see a whole world opportunity opening up to them for preservation of their knowledge. References this in the 19th century documents to Bibles in Arabic that the Christians gave to the Muslims. Some had been preserved. The Christians were certainly motivated by the urge to make zids of the false prophet. All right. It said, discover the beauty. Oh, it says right here. Let me see, because I'm trying to make sure it don't cut off. All right, let me put this on the side for a moment. All right, it's a lot, you know. Let's see. All right, but anyway, continue. It says, discover. It says, discover the beauty of a holy book and of Christianity, but for the Muslims, any book will probably have a sin contrary to appearances. The fact that Muslims read the Bible was not usually indication that they were on their way to conversion. Right? A lot of people knew that plantation Christianity was bullshit, even though they was into false doctrine of Islam. Right? It said Ibrahim Abu Bakr Omar Ibn Said, for example, had Bibles in Arabic, but none of these men converted. Truthfully, all however benefit from their apparent willingness to conform to their owner's religion, they were treated with leniency. It said reading the Bible could also present a real intellectual and religious interest of Muslims and be a true comfort. All right. So these scripture was a comfort to our people, man. All right. For enable them to go back to a spiritual world they had devoted many years of their free lives to study. They knew all the characters and stories of the holy book. I thought we knew the scriptures before we came over here as slaves. All right, since the Quran speaks abundantly of the Old and New Testament. In addition, some had already read and studied Christian texts in Africa. Read this again. In addition, some had already read and studied Christian texts in Africa. All right, so we knew this Bible, man, as confirmed by Mungo Park for Senegambia, where he has seen manuscripts of an Arabic version of the Pentecost of Moses. Why would they have this, man? All right, cause people knew they was Israelites, man, in West Africa. They had the Turita La Musa. All right, that's Moses. All right, this is also highly esteemed. This is so highly esteemed that it's often sold for the value of one prime slave. They had likewise a version of Psalms of David, Zabra, Dawidi. Lastly, the book Isaiah, which they call Lingidi La Isa, is rather the New Testament of Jesus. All right, Yahushua. All right, it said it is in very high esteem. All right, so our people held the Bible as very high esteem, man, back in West Africa, man. All right, these lies talking about the so-called white man gave us the Bible and all that stuff. We didn't know the Bible before we get here. That's a fucking lie, man. That's a lie that's pushed by people, man. All right, especially the guys in the Black Unconscious movement, man. Sarnetta, Garfield, Polite, all them, man. It said Ibrahim Abi al-Rahman had read some of these very books prior to his deportation for Guyana, as he confided to his friend Andrew Marshall, who asked the Secretary of State Henry Clay to procure a New Testament Arabic for the prince. It said, besides the intellectual interest, Muslims may have another reason to be eager to receive Bibles in Arabic. To have them was the most efficient way when Quran was not available in preserving their literacy. All right. So there you go. It says Muslims were looking for opportunity to maintain the important skills, not to change their religion for another. The three reasons: honest, indulge, spiritual interest, and maintenance of literacy that could induce Muslims to read the Bible in Arabic will probably let me see. It's a lot intimately linked, but one cannot exclude the possibility that for some the preservation ability to read was the main objective, man. But the point is, our people knew the scriptures, all right, before they came over here, all right, and they was glad to see see these scriptures, man. All right, so I'm trying to find this other page up in here. Where is that? Let me see. Damn. There's a page of this guy. Let me see. We'll go back to the names and stuff. Cause if you look at their names, it'll give you clues, man. All right. It's at page 82. All right. It says the Africans who choose. I'm gonna start right here. It said though openly had to confirm Africans, talking about Israelites, tried in different ways to keep their names. One technique was to answer two names, as often mentioned in advertisements for runaways. A Georgian notice for a runaway Muslim slave, for instance, mentioned that a new Negro fellow called Jeffrey, sometime brain Ibrahim, which is Abraham, had escaped. A more serious company was for slaves to retain their real names within the community while using the name imposed by their owner when dealing with the outside world. During the trial, some Bahamian Muslim acknowledged that they knew their fellow conspirators only by their African names. All right, basically there's like names. It says right here, it says the Africans who choose their names sometimes did so in a way to let them keep a link to their past, right? They keep a link to areas like that. Job bin Solomon was one of the interesting examples of African retention and naming practice. He was called Simon by his master, but he was known as Job bin Solomon. Right? There's like, man, which was the English translation, Senegalese Muslim Ayuba Suleiman. In a similar way, Muslims enslaved were Abraham Abi al-Rahman gave the name Suleiman, but to his son, the boy was called Solomon. It is very likely that many named Moses in French, Solomon, Abraham. Look at that. Jacob, Adam, and David were formerly Muslim, Suleiman, Abrahama, Ayuba, Adama. All right, Adama is Joshua Kodash. All right, prove that the Arab language came from Lashwan Kodash or Paleo-Hebrew, and Dawada. Omar, that's another is like Omar bin Said retained a memory of his name. In yet another manner, he was called moral, a corruption of his real name, Umar or Omar. All right. So there you go, man. You got the Arab on the left, and then the Hebrew on the right, man. All right. Remember, our people, they was some were forced to Islam, some converted to Islam, man. All right, you got right here again. I got the link. Yoruba, Musa, Haruna, which is Arabic for Aaron, Muhammad. Based, what does Muhammad mean? I think it means praises. All right. All right. It says Musa, Barka. Let's see, Barka, Salam, Musa, Ishmael, Aram. All right, Aram. Mustafa was very popular. Calico. Mustafa means, I think it means chosen. All right, it means chosen. All right, so it was a popular name on Jake, man. The reason I circle Muhammad, because Muhammad means praise, and you go to Hebrew, Yahweh means. Yahweh means Yahweh. Praises mean they praise Yahweh. They thanking Yahweh. All right, so they praising him. All right, so that's why I circle Muhammad, because it's somewhat similar. All right, partly similar, I'm trying to find this page where it's talking about this guy. His name was Old Man Israel. Oh, here you go. All right, let's start page 80. It says, in addition to their clothes and protection, the Muslims also distinguish themselves by a physical trait that Ben Solomon of Saint Simon's Island revealed. This is a Benjamite. Now, Old Man Israel had sharp-featured and long pointed head like Israel. The Emir Samba Makumba from Trinidad wore his white hair and beard long as a former Marabout slave in the Bahima said the rather meaning Hausa Negroes attached goat beards to their chins to get us an appearance of men. Alright, but the point is his name is what? Old Man, his name is Israel. You know, alright. And Islam Israel is what? Arabic Israel is well, the sound is spelled ISRAIL. Alright. So his name had to be most likely Israel, man. Alright. So, well, you say Yasha Allah, man. Alright. The right way say Yasha Allah, he Prince of Power, man. Alright, so that's pretty interesting, man. Alright, so this book is good, man. It got a lot of good stuff in it. Stuff I haven't brought out yet, man. So this is it. Shalom.